Hi, I'm Shira Notes. I'm going to be reading to you from my paper, Awaiting the Moment of Truth That Will Change the World Forever. Part 1. There exists a dark force that has lurked masked and unabated, and is responsible for the horrific attacks against the human family in the United States of America and the world at large, spanning the last 6 decades, if not longer. This dark force, which has its roots in secret societies, including the Yale University Skull and Bones Society, and dangerous, negatively oriented extraterrestrial beings known as the Draco Reptilians, is about to be exposed and subjugated on a public level. Their crimes include, but are not limited to, the 9/11 attacks, school shootings, past presidential and other celebrity murders, civilian bombings, societal-scale poisoning, and widespread viral disease, including man-made viruses HIV and COVID-19. Known widely as the Cabal, the New World Order, and the Illuminati, this secret shadow government became a known threat during the Eisenhower administration. In the eye-opening and horrifically shocking documentary Above Majestic, Jordan Sather explains that this global elite, making up the top 1% of our world population, has acquired an enormous amount of monetary wealth, power, and advanced technologies over many centuries. Not only have lies upon lies been fed to the innocent citizens of planet Earth by these vicious monsters and swallowed without question on a grand scale, but furthermore, many brave heroes who have attempted to speak up about their hidden agenda, including the secrecy of ETs and advanced technologies, have been silenced permanently through assassinations. In fact, there is ample evidence that President John F. Kennedy himself was a victim of this real terrorist group, and that his attempt at disclosing their secrets led to his assassination by none other than the CIA. It is time to recognize that there is no one target. Despite the deep feelings of persecution many of us in the diverse human family have been facing for centuries. It is not solely about anti-Semitism, anti-Muslim, Islamic, anti-LGBTQ, or anti-African American, as no one race or group of people is being marginalized. Rather, it is our very human lives, our liberty, security, and pursuit of happiness that is continually being threatened by this surfacing enemy. We must not remain the gullible victims of a corrupt, sadistic, and failing shadow government any longer. It is time now for full and complete transparency and disclosure of the criminal acts that have slandered our right as an ascending human race to live on a healthy, clean, peaceful, and thriving planet with full access to the advanced technologies which have purposely been kept secret from deserving citizens for the past 70-plus years. Just how deep is the swamp, Mr. President? So what exactly are these evil forces, and how far back do they operate in our history? In an article which scratches the surface of this question, What is the Cabal and How Dark Forces Control the Masses, the World-Ruling Secret Societies, published by Gaia, we are told more about these secret societies and their origins. The Freemasons is considered the world's largest secret society, dating back to the stonemasons of the Middle Ages. Surprisingly, our founding father George Washington was said to be a member. Another secret society, the Illuminati, was started by German law professor Adam Weishaupt in the late 1700s. This group is said to have joined forces with the Freemasons. The Illuminati is said to be entirely focused on global domination and relies on advanced technological means and propaganda to enact population control and evoke widespread fear and panic. It is highly possible that for centuries now, these secret societies have been operating in a sly way to ensure their survival and stronghold of power in all realms of society. According to CIA whistleblower Kevin Shipp, the CIA is the powerhouse of the shadow government and controls 16 other intelligence agencies. In Killing the Deep State, The Fight to Save President Trump, by Jerome R. Corsi, Ph.D., SHIP describes their powers as follows. Controls defense and intelligence contractors, can manipulate the president and presidential decisions, has the power to start wars, torture, initiate coups, and commit false flag attacks. Corsi further illuminates the origin of the term deep state. The concept of deep politics entered the national dialogue in a serious manner when the American public realized that there were dark forces at work behind shocking events. In 1976, the Church Committee concluded that the Warren Commission covered up the role organized crime had played working with the CIA to assassinate President John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Ever since Watergate, the American public have come to expect that what we observe in the overt politics reported by the mainstream media has nothing to do with the deep politics in which hidden forces predominate. Furthermore, in the documentary Above Majestic, we are told that the Warren Commission was made up of 33rd degree Freemasons. It was actually this group that created the term conspiracy theorists, in order to place false judgment on those souls brave enough to question the truth behind assassinations and mass homicides, including President Kennedy's murder and the 9/11 attacks. Let us look a little deeper into the events leading up to the devastating murder of John F. Kennedy. Was the shadow government so desperate to keep the truth a secret that they would go to any length to protect it? Stand for truth and off with your head. The CIA's abuse of power began during the Eisenhower administration, when President Eisenhower was informed about secret extraterrestrial research taking place near Area 51. As is discussed briefly in Above Majestic, and Michael E. Salla, PhD's book Insiders Reveal Secret Space Programs and Extraterrestrial Alliances, as well as his other publications, John F. Kennedy's assassination was a direct consequence of his attempt to reveal the truth behind both extraterrestrial contact and the development of advanced electrogravitic anti-gravity space technologies and weaponry programs. Before leaving office, Eisenhower discussed at length with JFK the threat evident in the growing and unchecked power of the CIA and Majestic 12 groups. According to Michael E. Salla, Ph.D., Kennedy audaciously followed up on Eisenhower's attempt at gaining what was unfortunately already lost control over the CIA and Majestic 12 operations. Area 51, a large patch of land in a remote area of Nevada that was originally owned by the Department of Energy, included the S-4 facility, which Eisenhower later threatened to invade. In 1955, Eisenhower transferred ownership of this land to the CIA, a decision which Salla explains had irreversible consequences. The decision to give control over security for Area 51 facilities to the CIA, rather than any of the military services, had quickly turned into a tragic mistake by Eisenhower. This, together with the reorganization of government recommended by Nelson Rockefeller, gave the MJ-12 group the institutional means to create its own secret space program outside of presidential and U.S. military control. In an article published by Dr. Michael Salla on May 3, 2013, a former CIA agent's testimony before Congress reveals the story behind the top-secret UFO and extraterrestrial research being conducted by the MJ-12 group in 1958 at Area 51's S-4 facility. This former CIA agent's first-hand experience confirmed the UFO research that was going on at the time, as well as Eisenhower's attempt to retrieve this information from the CIA. Eisenhower called this former CIA agent into the Oval Office and demanded that he retrieve information about the alien research from MJ-12. If they refused to comply, the president would authorize a military invasion of Area 51 and S-4. After traveling to Area 51 and S4, the CIA agent said that they saw several garage-type doors with flying saucers in them. He described seeing a gray alien at the S4 facility that his boss partially interviewed. Upon returning to the White House, the agent and his boss relayed what they had seen at S4. Significantly, the FBI director, J. Edgar Hoover, was also present during the debriefing of the CIA agent and his boss over what they had witnessed at S4 and Area 51. According to the CIA agent, Eisenhower was shocked. In Eisenhower's farewell speech in 1961, he alluded to the possible threat of what he called a technological elite, which can now be concluded to be equivalent to the Cabal, Illuminati deep state. It is then appropriate to assume that he was referring more directly to MJ-12 and the military-industrial complex's evolving stronghold over advanced ET technologies. The subject matter spoken of in this speech bears stark relevance to the coronavirus and surrounding events occurring in the modern-day global arena. Eisenhower underlines the basic responsibilities of a free government to strive towards peace, liberty, pride, and success on a global scale. He then alludes to a dark force that seems to be continuously and slyly thwarting any efforts toward achieving that peace. He states, "Throughout America's adventure in free government, our basic purposes have been to keep the peace, to foster progress in human achievement, and to enhance liberty, dignity, and integrity among people and among nations. To strive for less would be unworthy of a free and religious people. Progress toward these noble goals is persistently threatened by the conflict now engulfing the world. It commands our whole attention, absorbs our very beings. We face a hostile ideology, global in scope, atheistic in character, ruthless in purpose, and insidious in method. Unhappily, the danger it poses promises to be of indefinite duration." While JFK was informed of the growing power of the Majestic 12 group on taking office, his knowledge of Nazi German manufactured advanced spacecraft and weaponry preceded his briefings from President Eisenhower. In July of 1945, Navy Secretary James Forstall requested Kennedy's accompaniment to Allied-occupied Germany to select which captured Nazi technologies would be studied by the United States military. Later in 1961, Kennedy sent a top-secret memo to then-CIA Director Allen Dulles, requesting access to MJ-12 operations. In response, Allen denied Kennedy access and proceeded to create an assassination directive against any U.S. official that threatened MJ-12 operations. Continuing in Eisenhower's footsteps and inevitably caught in his shadow, Kennedy's courageous final attempt to regain authority over the military's secret Nazi, German, and extraterrestrial technology research ultimately cost him his life. In Kennedy's address before the American Newspaper Publisher Association on April 27, 1961, he spoke once again of this dark force that attacks stealthily in broad daylight, reiterating very closely the same wordings alluded to by President Eisenhower previously that year. He states, "For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned. No rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive. Seeing as how both President Eisenhower and President Kennedy spoke of the same mysterious enemy, there can be no question that we were warned about the rising power of a rogue shadow government almost 60 years ago. In Kennedy's other famous speeches, he underscored how much he disdained secret societies. If in fact these ancient secret societies grew in power and guile and were aided by extraterrestrials with a violent agenda, the citizens of this world are certainly owed a full explanation, as well as the names of those who have been implicated in the criminal acts that have affected the very solidarity and dignity of the United States of America. The cabal's ongoing murders, schemes, propaganda, and lies, which have caused this world immeasurable heartache, suffering, sickness, and poverty, must end now. Their use of stale and repeated tactics, such as the present-day COVID-19 pandemic, have impeded the growth, empowerment, and healing of America's people and citizens worldwide. In protecting the truth of their classified technologies, secret space programs, and the even greater spiritual implications from the known existence of advanced positive and negative extraterrestrial beings, they have set the evolution of mankind back more than a century. Because of those brave heroes who have attempted to stand up for truth and reveal the attainments and hidden agendas of these secret societies, the cabal continued to rid the world of all those who knew the truth through murders and cover-ups, only further incriminating themselves in a ruthless chain of crimes against humanity. While this truth may read like a sci-fi movie, unfortunately it is more real than it has ever felt before, as more and more citizens awaken to claim their rightly owed and victoriously achieved freedom. Rest assured that these villains will not walk free, and all efforts are being made to capture and shut down this venomous enemy as it tirelessly fights for one last breath. Since the Eisenhower administration, forces of benevolence worldwide have been working to bring divine justice to planet Earth and usher in a new golden age of advancement for all souls, physically, technologically, mentally, and spiritually. This concludes part 1 of my paper, Awaiting the Moment of Truth That Will Change the World Forever, available on shiranotes.org. Thank you for listening.